That's why they have the access to the oasis closed.
An odd place for a terrorist threat, if that's what it is.
Exactly.
On a bus.
But the good news is you can get by there using I-88. That was closed for a while, but it is back open. Outbound Edens, 30 minutes out to Lake Cook, inbound at 47. The Kennedy, 19 to the Junction, 37 out to the airport, inbound at 42. The Eisenhower, an hour and 15 all the way out to Route 53, inbound at 48. The Stevenson, an hour out to the north-south tollway. The Ryan, 30 minutes out to 95th, inbound jammed up 35th to the Circle interchange as usual. Heavy traffic for the Friday afternoon heading into downtown. Southbound Tri-State delay begins at Willow. Eastbound Northwest tollway jammed up past Arlington Heights Road to Manheim. This report sponsored by the island of Aruba. American Airlines Vacations is offering $10,000 A-Advantage bonus miles when you book 5 nights in Aruba by March 31st and travel April 25th to November 17th. Call 1-800-321-2121 or visit online at aavacations.com. Restrictions apply. I'm Grant Park with WLS Time Saver Traffic.
WLS 3-day forecast. Low tonight 28. Tomorrow cloudy, chance of rain, and a high of 42. And then Sunday colder, partly cloudy, high only 29. Monday flurries again, high 32. Recapping tonight, low 28. Right now it's 35 out at O'Hare, downtown along the lakefront, 38. Chicago PM is next. I'm Jim Johnson. News Talk 890 WLS.
Live from State and Lake in the heart of the Windy City, you're connected with Chicago PM on News Talk 890 WLS.
Chicago, my hometown. Hey now, baby.
Good evening, 612, Chicago's News Talk 890 WLS. It's Chicago PM. Nice to have you on this Friday. Nice to have you along, I should say. Jay Marvin, Bill Cameron, Jim Johnson. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good
Jim,
evening.
Bill.
We're going to keep our eye on that bus that's on East-West Tollway out by the DeKalb Oasis that's stopped. There's some sort of a bomb scare. My hunch is that would not be a likely place for a terrorist to do a terrorist act.
We're all very jumpy and nervous. And
that's just my hunch.
And we should be. And we're being careful, and that's good. It's good that we're being careful. Better to be careful than to be negligent.
We talk about bizarre stories. We're going to get in. We're just putting off the war again because we've argued about it so much. There were no definitive developments today. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
No, except that Hans Blix kind of,
how would you, give it in a sentence because I have trouble with it. I heard the whole thing.
Same old. Saddam Hussein is not disarmed. Same old.
Some cooperation, not disarmed. So basically nobody comes away happy from that report was the way I'm putting it.
I think you're right.
And
what he did was said we're making progress.
Oh,
he did say it.
What do you think?
He said that, but then he
think?
Also said we need not just days, but not even weeks, maybe months.
What do you think he's going to say? We failed? We're not making any progress?
Well, no.
He wants to keep his job.
If the Iraqis were not cooperating at all, he would report it.
They're not. He said they weren't cooperating.
No, he said they were.
No.
We'll argue about that later.
He was indicating that they are, but very, very slowly, and that they are still
no full disclosure,
not forthcoming, and there is no full disclosure.
In another jab at Colin Powell, he said that Saddam is disarming these missiles, and they're not toothpicks. He's lobbying for more time.
But they're not what was asked for.
I understand.
He's 12 years late,
he wanted, but to portray what Hans Blix said as they're not cooperating is inaccurate.
That's not what I said. What I said was it was the same old, and they are not cooperating, and Hans Blix didn't give any indication that the Iraqis are willing to meet their obligation to come clean.
Let's move on. Let's talk about something we can agree on. We hate Osama bin Laden, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And there were confusing reports about whether we captured 2 of his sons today. That was being reported by some of the networks now at the Pentagon. They're saying, look, we haven't heard about it. So I would doubt that that's true. And they're still looking for Osama.
The Pakistani foreign minister was saying it this morning.
Right. Now the Pentagon is saying we've heard nothing about that. So something phony. And he's in that murky area between Pakistan and Iran, which actually...
Oh, he's probably serving at the local deli on the north side. We don't know where he is.
Oh, no, I disagree. I think we do know where he is.
I think he's over there. That's an entire country of its own. I forget the name of it. It's the people that have very strongly supported the Taliban. They're technically a part of Pakistan, but one of their own country.
He's in an area that's like a borderland between Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. We do know where he is.
But once we get him, you think we should get him dead or alive?
We do know where he is. We're on his trail.
Boy, is he argumentative today.
No, because you're misrepresenting everything.
No, we don't know where he is.
How do you know we don't know?
We'll concede you two disagree.
Do you know we don't for a fact?
There's so much disinformation in all this storytelling that
ladies and
we don't know anything.
I'm not worthy. Bill Cameron only has... All right, you know what? Do you know that we don't know for a fact? No. You're going on the same speculation that everybody else is going on.
Just my point, my friend. Therefore, we don't know where he is.
No, you don't know that.
All right. Anyway, do we want him dead or alive? You're saying if we cornered him, should we kill him there or put him in a box somewhere?
Well, listen to this from Jackie Judd.
Osama bin Laden himself has said he is prepared to die rather than be captured. In a tape attributed to him, he said, "I wish my demise to be in the eagle's belly." The eagle widely taken to mean the United States. In death, he could still cause big trouble for the U.S. and the rest of the world as a martyr, possibly a dangerous one.
He would be a rallying point for those independent contractors who are out there who can do damage at will.
Others believe that in the long run, bin Laden's death could spell the end of al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda and bin Laden are synonymous. He has provided the inspiration, the finance, and the organization, and without bin Laden, al-Qaeda has no future.
Should bin Laden be captured alive, he most likely would be held and tried by the American military. The goal, of course, would be to force information out of bin Laden, information that may save lives.
He'll be able to say who was involved in various plots, who was involved in planning various atrocities, and he might also be able to release information under intensive interrogation about possible future plans.
Even if bin Laden refused to give up anything, U.S. authorities could lead his followers to believe something very different.
That kind of disinformation and stratagem can be used very, very effectively to disrupt and demoralize them.
But on the negative side, bin Laden's imprisonment could inflame his followers and trigger anti-American protests. It may also leave some Americans, especially survivors of 9/11 victims, feeling cheated. So dead or alive, there are risks as well as rewards when it comes to ending the reign of the world's most notorious terrorist.
I kind of prefer alive. Bring him before the rule of law and put him on trial and sentence him.
Take it either way. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. She talked both sides of it so much that I am undecided on this. I'm like Jay. I just want to find him.
You know what I don't like about the report? What I don't like about the report is, I don't know, maybe I'm making like a massive shift to the right here or something, but she was talking about how, well, you know, there's a drawback that if we jail him, that it could inflame more passions. Oh, so what are we supposed to do? Like if extremists throw a temper tantrum, we're supposed to give in to them? Screw them.
Well, you know, and
that's what I say.
Not to get into this argument about where Osama is, but this area that we think we have him cornered in is not a sure bet to get him. It's one of those murky areas where they say it is full of keyword tunnels, where smugglers have hidden stuff for decades, and where the local people like to lie, deceive, and will take bribes from the last person that passed through their village. So good luck.
Well, you mean Cicero?
All right, very good.
Oh.
Very good, Bill.
All right.
Well,
all right, now.
A very interesting conversation late today between Peter Jennings and Secretary of State Colin Powell on the question of whether we should go to war. Listen to this.
So many people don't understand why you shouldn't let the inspections continue if they are accomplishing anything.
When you see how Iraq has avoided answering these questions for year after year after year, you don't come away with a great deal of confidence that in the absence of a strategic change on his part, that the inspectors will ever get to the bottom of it all.
Most people think they're doing a reasonably effective job at the moment.
I think they are doing a reasonably effective job in light of what they are able to do, and they are only able to do what the Iraqis are really allowing them to do. And Iraq is clearly still bugging the rooms in which people are being interviewed. We're quite confident they're still moving things around the countryside. We are not.
Inspectors didn't agree with you on that this morning.
Yeah, they didn't agree, but I think I have better information than the inspectors. I think I have more assets available to me than the inspectors do.
But if you have better assets available to you than the inspectors, why don't you tell the inspectors what's going on so they can catch the Iraqis in the process?
We are giving them as much as we can that is actionable. that really can cue them to something.
Mr. Secretary, many people think that your dismissal again today of the inspection process is because your administration keeps moving the goalposts, that it is not just about disarming Saddam Hussein, it is, as the President says, about getting rid of Saddam Hussein. So the Security Council is left in the position of either agreeing with you completely or else.
If our sole goal was to get rid of Saddam Hussein and we didn't care about weapons of mass destruction, or we didn't care about the views of the Security Council, the President could have done that any time in the past year. But the issue that he brought to the Security Council last September was the issue of weapons of mass destruction and how to get rid of them. And he challenged the Security Council to make Saddam Hussein live up to the commitments and the obligations he had as a result of all the previous resolutions.
Do you, in retrospect, think it was a mistake to support the inspections? I think it was Vice President Cheney who said in August that these renewed inspections were a trap.
No, I don't think it was a mistake. I think it was an essential part of determining whether or not Saddam Hussein was serious.
March the 17th, is this the magic date, or are we actually talking about 10 days or possibly more from the time this UN British resolution is tabled?
It's 10 days from today. It seemed like a reasonable period of time to put forward this proposition to the Security Council, to the world, and see whether or not there is a way to avoid a solution by force of arms, and is there a way to find a peaceful solution. But we had to draw a line. This just can't continue this way.
Colin Powell.
Now, some would like it to continue. Colin there at the end made an interesting point. He said, we just can't continue like this because we have our troops on ready for practical reasons. We've either got to fish or cut bait. Some would argue that maybe being at ready for a long time is better than attack. And I'm going back to the President's news conference, which happened after Chicago PM last night, which was very interesting. He was asked some really interesting questions, including issues about Vietnam, and will we regret certain things, and how far are we extending ourselves, and I get more confused the more I hear of this stuff.
Boy, did he stay on message last night. In one form or another, I think he gave about 2 answers all evening and punched away at the need for Saddam to disarm.
Well, he made one, I thought, one of the most eloquent statements he made, and it was actually in a question that he didn't answer. That was where he was asked to react to Ted Kennedy, the Senator Kennedy's criticism of him being obsessed with Osama. And it was at that point that I thought that...
No, you mean was obsessed with Saddam.
Saddam, excuse me. Obsessed with Saddam. And then the President didn't want to attack Senator Kennedy. He made a very interesting comment that I thought was really from the heart. He said, look, I'm the one who's being paid by the people here to make this decision and protect us after September 11th. And those attacks changed everything. And I'm reminded that when those attacks happened, the President said the war on terror will be unpopular, and we will have to go and find these people and the instruments and anyone who harbors or supports them. And he is in a different position being in charge of our well-being.
Also interesting tonight, the reaction in Baghdad, where Dan Harris is over there for ABC News.
Deadlines make no sense, according to one Iraqi politician, when Iraq is cooperating.
I hope that the American administration could reconsider their attitude.
A sign of the growing tension here, Iraq is now quarreling with the very people who came from all over the world to stop a war. The government has now ordered 5 of the self-described human shields to leave after a dispute about where they will be stationed. The volunteers say the Iraqis are pressing them to stay at sites near military installations.
Well, I can understand why they wouldn't want to stay there, but that's kind of the reason they went over there, isn't it?
Well, they want to be a shield, but not one that's going to get hit.
The whole thing's a farce.
That's interesting that they're kicking them out. And kind of would think Saddam would want him to stick around, but he's unpredictable, isn't he? Remember, he had all those, before the first Persian Gulf War, he had those tourists there and the little boy that he rubbed on the head.
Oh, have you heard the story today that's circulating around that he may have acquired American uniforms and suits that look like, in which he'll dress his Republican Guard as Americans, commit atrocities against his own people, and then claim we did it.
Wow.
I don't put that past him.
No. Well, I don't either, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's not a piece of disinformation from our side.
Oh, jeez.
To dirty up Saddam Hussein even more.
Sorry. I got it from Radio France Internationale.
Oh, where do you get that?
Bingo.
Well,
you lose. News.
France is the source of this?
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't put much credibility in that.
Jay,
why? They're against the war. Why would they report something that would be, only you have the answer and the credibility, and only you can sort through the information?
Certainly not.
I challenge you on that.
I certainly am not the final authority.
God, I'm getting tired of this.
But I can speculate in the direction that makes the most sense to me or occurs to me as a possibility.
I didn't get it from the American media. I got it from overseas. Now, if you want to say that the English language section of Radio France International is a propaganda arm of the United States government, good, prove it.
Is this a radio station you listen to with regularity?
Yes, you can hear them on the internet.
You hear them on the internet. Okay,
I listen to them. Yes, I do.
I thought you had like a beautiful mind. You went out to a shed and you heard all these things.
Because I want to see what they have to say. Now, you know what? If you want to say that they're engaging in disinformation, then you better be able to prove that they are. Otherwise, you can't say that.
I'm speculating. I have no proof either way.
I can speculate on a lot of things.
All right, let's speculate about this.
Oh, you are going to get in the blows before this is over with, man. I'm telling you.
Gentlemen,
yes.
Predictions. We're there. The troops are ready. We have resolved nothing today at the United Nations. When do you think we'll either begin coming home or attacking?
Whenever that new moon occurs where there's no moonlight, what is that, the 1st of April, somewhere around there?
I have no clue. I have no clue, but I'll tell you this much. I hope we don't have to go to war. I hope that Hussein will do the right thing, but he won't, and we will. And all I can hope is that all of our people are safe. That's the only thing I can hope for. 626 at the WLS. WLS 3-day forecast tonight becoming partly cloudy with some fog developing late and a low in the upper 20s. Saturday, rain likely changing to snow before ending late, but no snow accumulation. So, Jim, you can still get out there and golf. High in the lower 40s, and then Saturday, partly cloudy, a low near 10 above. And on Sunday, partly cloudy and a high in the mid-20s. WLS, time saver traffic. Here's Grant Park.